Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hasan here, Vancouver Realtor. In today's video, I'm going to do a quick market update. I'm going to talk about a segment of the Vancouver real estate market which is performing quite well right now. And then as I like to do, I'm going to talk about whether now is a good time to buy or whether now is a good time to sell or whether it's a good time to do both. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Hasan. I'm a Vancouver Realtor. I create these educational videos to help you in your buying or selling journey, but without wasting any time, let's get started. So there's no question about it. The market is in a stagnant position right now. Things have leveled off when it comes to sales prices, sales quantity, even inventory as well. A couple of the metrics that we look at, which are I think good metrics to follow, are the 10-year average. And what that basically means is it looks at the sales quantity over the last 10 years and it compares where we're at today. Now, Metro Vancouver, we're basically sitting right at the 10-year average, which is quite unheard of considering how hot the market has been. So one way to look at it is it's an average market. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say that we are in a balanced market. In fact, most areas are still in a seller's market, but there's definitely an adjustment happening in the market, and especially when it comes to selling prices and seller expectations. In terms of real estate prices, we're now seeing a flattening of prices from a month-over-month perspective, and that's a better metric to look at because prices grew astronomically last year. So as we move forward, the month-to-month metric is good when it comes to prices, and the fact that we're seeing things leveling off in Metro Vancouver, it could be a sign of things to come with additional interest rate and mortgage rate hikes as well. When we look at the Fraser Valley, so their sales quantity is down 45% year over year. We just talked about the 10-year average for Metro Vancouver, and now the Fraser Valley is sitting below their 10-year average, which again is unheard of given the rise in real estate sales and prices over the last few years. So we talked about sellers markets and balanced markets. One thing to note in the Fraser Valley is Surrey Detached has now moved into a balanced market. Over the last couple of years, it's been a strong sellers market, and it's had one of the strongest rises in real estate prices. So it's not shocking to see that now sales are coming down, and in fact prices are coming down as well in the detached segment, especially in the Fraser Valley. Now, a few areas that remain hot right now, I would say the Tri-Cities, Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, Port Moody, New West remains pretty hot, as well as downtown Vancouver condos. Now, if you follow this channel, we've talked about how this is, the year of the condo, and it seems like that is coming to fruition because that market is still hot. We're still seeing multiple offers in the condo market where we're not seeing that as much on the townhome side and the detached home side. We're seeing a lot of seller expectations being adjusted downwards with townhomes and with detached homes. Condos prices seem to keep going on the rise, especially that entry level, which is leading me to the next thing that I want to talk about in this video, and that's rental property investments. So rentals, obviously rental rates, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom rates, they're up over 20% this year. So a lot of investors, both new investors as well as investors that have been doing it quite some time, they are looking back into the rental market. So this is a segment that is remaining strong. We've talked about immigration in this channel as well. So there's a lot of pressure kind of on that lower price band. And as people feel maybe the affordability gets out of reach in higher product types, they start shifting downwards and looking at the condos. So downtown Vancouver condos, quite hot right now. Anything that's a rental investment, and that includes multifamily investment. So if you're watching this channel, you may not be a multifamily investor yourself, but the trickle-down effect is basically we have these, let's say, mid to larger investors that are now looking at multifamily. And one of the reasons they're doing this right now is what's going on with the stock market. So if you follow the stock market at all, hopefully you're not too far in the red, but most of us are in the red from a year-to-date perspective. It's really interesting because, on this channel as well, 6-8 months ago, we're talking about how cash is no longer king, and cash sitting in your bank account was devaluing itself sitting in the bank account. And now when you look at it for 2022, an argument could be made that the best investment right now is holding on to your cash. We can't obviously see what's going to happen in the future. So the reason I bring this up is, again, there are these mid-level and higher level investors that are looking at multifamily and they're seeing that the rental property market is a bit more stable. They feel safer placing their funds in this direction. So they're actually shifting money. I'm seeing some clients that are shifting money out of other types of investments, and they're looking hard at multifamily investments because of how strong the rental market is. So I won't touch too much on interest rates and mortgage rates, but we all know that they have been ever increasing. Our mortgage rates are now up. I mean, they're almost double from the lows where they were at. So anytime mortgage rates go up, it typically has an inverse effect on the real estate market in terms of demand as well as prices. Prices, we don't usually see the effect until later on. So, you know, my guesstimation or estimation is that we're going to continue to see some price decreases as we head throughout the rest of the year. Now, before I touch on whether you should buy real estate right now or whether you should sell real estate right now, I do want to quickly touch on the Broadway plan, because this is a very hot topic in real estate in Vancouver right now. And this is essentially the development plan for the next 30 years, along where they're building the Broadway subway. They're putting $3 billion obviously into transit along Broadway, rapid transit, and now they're looking at development surrounding that. And the reason I want to talk about it is there are a lot of opponents to this level of development. And if you're wondering what the scope is, they're looking at approving up to 40 stories on the south side of the Granville Street Bridge, essentially. Now, I've lived in Vancouver for 35 years, and you know, they say there are, you know, three constants in life or life in Vancouver: death, taxes, and low density development on the west side of Vancouver. And it looks like that's going to change. And it seems every time, we'll leave commercial drive out of it, but every time anything west, there's development proposals for high density, anything west of Maine, seems to be met with a lot of opposition. But I do encourage you to take a look at the Broadway plan. Much of the housing that is in this plan is actually rental properties versus strata properties. I personally am a supporter of high density development, as you guys are well aware, especially around these transit hubs. You can't invest, you know, $3 billion into a transit infrastructure and not surround it with the people that need to be close to that transit. It makes no sense to have the higher development away from a line like this. So it looks obviously like it's going to move forward, but do check out the Broadway plan. It's very interesting, and it has the potential to completely change the scope of Vancouver as we know it and as we've known it for 40, 50 years. Now, the question I always like to answer: should I buy real estate right now? Should I sell real estate right now? I'm going to start with buy. What I've been telling my clients is, if you plan to purchase your principal residence, if you plan to hold on to the real estate for 5 to 10 years, I think it's a good time to buy real estate. What I've learned about Vancouver and Vancouver real estate, and I've said this before, is opportunity is here until it isn't. And things move very quickly in our market, both on an upwards direction and a downwards direction. Right now, there are opportunities to not compete on properties, to write offers with subjects. Yes, mortgage rates are higher, but do keep in mind in Canada, we're well protected. We do have the stress test that ensures that we're able to, meet our mortgage commitments if rates are to go up. So as long as you're not, working the system, I guess you could say, in terms of getting a mortgage approval, again, and it's going to be your principal residence, it's going to be something you hold on to for a long time, I think you're going to do quite well, and now's a good time to buy. If you're looking at selling, the first caveat I want to put out there is it is a good time to sell if you have realistic expectations. And this has been probably the challenge of many real estate agents like myself, is speaking with sellers and letting them know that they are not going to sell their property for the same price the neighbor sold 2 months ago. And this can be a challenging conversation to have with clients, but you can no longer price your property at where the last sale was and go to an offer date and expect to have multiple offers. When the market is actually going in a downwards direction, you do actually want to price below the last sale. Right now, setting offer dates for townhomes and detached homes doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're well underpriced. And I don't think anyone really likes that tactic, that sales tactic. So if you have realistic expectations as a seller, I think the sweet spot, if you're going to sell right now, is if you're looking to upsize, upgrade your real estate. So if you're looking to sell maybe a condo or a townhome, and you want to shift upwards into a townhome or a detached home, I actually think it's a great time today, and over the next few months. I think that's going to be the real opportunity here. So if you've gained some equity in your property, you're looking at making this kind of a transition. Again, you're going to be able to write offers on these higher priced properties with subjects, allowing you to do your due diligence. You'll probably still maximize the price that you get on your condo or on your townhome. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something today. In the description box below, I will link to the Broadway plan that I just spoke about. I would love it if you enjoyed this video, if you could hit the like button and if you could subscribe. What this does is it sends the video to more people so they can be helped with it as well. If you're looking for any real estate help in Vancouver or the Fraser Valley and you want to work with me, all my contact info is in the description box below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.